of all, we'd like to give a big Fei Chang Ganxie, or thank you to those who helped us throughout this process. We'd like to thank God, our families, the honors program, as well as the College of Business.
The honors program provides a platform for us to become international scholars. PV is the place where the journey begins.
When you're involved in a program that not only believes in the students, but nurtures their talents as well, anything is possible.
Because of this, we are all on our way to becoming global leaders.
Building a world-class transportation system is part of what made us an economic superpower. And now we're going to sit back and watch China build newer airports and faster railroads. At a time when millions of unemployed construction workers could build them right here in America. 江山北望，勇气卷马，长嘶剑气如霜，心似黄河水。
While I was in China, I stayed in Changsha, and that was in the Hunan province, and I resided in the international student dorms. And my room was very spacious. Very, very spacious. Unlike Kimani, I got an actual toilet that flushed, so I was happy about that. But the water, but the water didn't stay hot for more than 10 minutes. So
I lived in the bustling city of Seoul, and the living conditions were similar to that of New York. I mean that by saying that it was a very fast-paced lifestyle. People constantly coming and going from their destinations. As far as transit goes, they had a very large subway system, buses, taxis, as well as cars. You name it, Korea probably has it. As for the atmosphere, it just seemed alive, especially for college students. It seemed like there wasn't a block you can go without running into a nightclub or just a hangout spot where you can go and relax.
While I stayed in China, I lived in Nanjing, in the Jiangsu province. My stay in China was very accommodating, actually. As far as my dormitory, I stayed in a room where 6 Chinese people would normally stay, but I was the only one who stayed in my room.
Right now, I would love to go everywhere, but China is definitely at the top of the list, mainly because I'm learning Mandarin right now, and I'm really looking forward to going over there and speaking the language.
I would say would be the first country in Africa that I definitely want to go to, I'd say would be Kenya. Because while I was in China, submerged in African culture, I met one of my closest friends. His name is Omar, and he just represented his country so well. And that's definitely where I want to go next.
Bwana Wilson rather. Ni mzuri bana kukusikia ya kwamba umewahi tutembelea kule Nairobi.
You'll keep in touch, right?
I will, of course.
Okay.
I'll keep you in the loop.
Okay.
So much more, yeah.
I guess that's the end of my questions now.
And my Asian friend, Taoshi, I love you. Her American name is Jessie. And she could speak almost fluent English beautifully.
And you get your PhD?
刘医生你好，这次说你是开的中国老师，中文老师 ，sorry，你的家乡也是在西安，我们是老乡，有机会的话，希望能见到你。好。Okay. Is Miss West Green. Green West? Oh, Green West. Sorry, Miss Green West. And 他在这边学习很用功，他学会了很多汉语，他可以教你们。今天我和 Tristan 我们将会去西安，我带他去西安玩，买中国传统的服装，然后吃陕西非常有名的小吃。We are so excited. Okay, I'm 24.
I do keep in contact with some of the friends I made over there, Korean as well as some Europeans that I'm particularly close to. Of that group, I had a friend from Sweden, France, Ukraine, as well as Spain. And right now we're currently planning a reunion for next summer, so I'm really looking forward to that.
But there was two friends in particular that I know that I will definitely keep in contact with, and that is Li Meng and Lan Xiao. Two other friends named Katsiwe and Placide. Placide was from Rwanda, and Katsiwe was from Swaziland. Both of whom helped me grow and learn many things about myself through this experience. So those are the four friends that I will make sure I keep in contact with, and some of them I've continued to have Skype conversations.
An important lesson I took away from being in Korea was the knowledge of being able to understand people from different backgrounds, cultures, and countries altogether. So I will definitely be able to apply those experiences to the business realm, both domestically and internationally.
While I was at Shanghai Medical College, I took one class for nursing research, and that was taught in 80% Chinese and 20% English. And I thought that that was very good for learning. I did an observation at the Pediatric Health Management Center and also at the Traditional Chinese Hospital. In the Pediatric Health Management Center, you see, I basically went to see for 2 weeks how the nurses work. Swimming for babies. Put a tube, a donut around the baby's neck and their head, and they put them in the water, and their head floats in the water while their body's above the water while their body is in it. So that was very interesting. Also, they have a physical for the baby. So, you know, I got to see cupping. They did cupping, they did acupuncture, but it's not just simple acupuncture where you stick the needles in your body. They did acupuncture with they did moxie acupuncture. This is what it's called, where they stick a herb stick that's cut on top of the acupuncture needle. It's kind of heavy, so which means it's kind of heavy, which means that the acupuncture needle will have a bigger circumference. Bigger needle in your skin with something that's also weighing it down, kind of moving around, and they light it on fire. So you got needles in your body and it's burning. So it was different. You see different things, and it's not the same as America, but it works for them.
Food in Korea was really good. I especially enjoyed the variety of side dishes that they offered at each meal. The only problem I had with it was that it was spicy. So after every bite, I'd drink some water just to make sure I held everything together.
西红柿炒鸡蛋, and that's tomatoes and eggs fried together. And it was just like, there was a restaurant by our school that I always went to, and it's just 1 minute away. And I always ordered that because it's just delicious.
To be able to try their food, because they were always interested to know whether I liked it. And they always assumed that I wasn't going to like it beforehand. But me, I like to experience new things. And normally I like stuff. I can eat just about anything. I only got sick one time, and that was near the beginning of my stay. But other than that, it was smooth sailing from there.
The same as your American Chinese food. It's not the same as Yang's Kitchen, and it's not the same as China Inn, but it's good, and I like to try new things, so I really, really enjoyed trying the real Chinese food.
I had very good friends that liked to take me to several different places, but the best place that I happened to go to was Shanghai.
Okay, so this is your first trip outside Nanjing.
That's right.
Why did you choose Shanghai?
Because Ketsuyo Kumalo has a friend in Shanghai. A friend of a friend is a friend of mine.
Oh, cool.
I'd recommend that if anybody wants to go to China, they should definitely have Xi'an on their list because it's beautiful. The whole city is lined with a wall that they put up during wartime. It's an old wall, but it's around the outside of the whole city, and it's beautiful. You see people out there painting. The older people, they get up in the morning and they paint Chinese characters on the floor, on the cement. And what they're writing are kind of like poems, and they get up in the morning and they do that with just water, and they write their poem, and a few minutes later it dissolves, but it's just people doing traditional Chinese things that I didn't see in Changsha. So I loved it. That was my Chinese experience. That was my Chinese cultural experience in Xi'an, and I loved it.
I went to Busan and the Korean Demilitarized Zone as well. Busan is about 4 hours away from Seoul by car, and it's known for its very beautiful beach. And at night, there's a bridge that lights up into a lot of different colors. It's a very beautiful scene to be able to experience. As for the Korean Demilitarized Zone, I was very excited to go to that. Basically, on the guide, they showed us the infiltration tunnels, the place where they signed the ceasefire agreement, and also the negotiation room between the two sides. And we were also able to see a North Korean guard as well. So it was a very educational and enjoyable experience as well.
I believe China is developing. So I believe it's a good idea to work with the Chinese on further projects because they can either invest in what I'm doing or I may make investments in the Chinese.
It's a developing country and it's developing very quickly. So how do you plan on helping the growth of China?
Helping the growth of China?
Yes, or what do you think about the growth?
As a person, I think I can do something very, very, very amazing, but I will do my best.
Wow.
Just to do what I do and do my best to support my country.
Ah, that's good. Okay, well, thank you for answering my questions.
You're welcome.
你喜欢不喜欢南京？
不太喜欢。
不太喜欢。为什么？
这里非常冷。
非常冷。
而且没有暖气。
OK， 我知道。谢谢。好的。Can you say hello to my family? 你能说你好？
你好。
再见。
再见。
I've never been so happy to be in school and to have hours and to study. Who likes studying? I do. I can say that I love studying now, and it's just being in China, I learned how valuable education can be, especially in America. And, you know, America's a wonderful country. You know, you take for granted the things that we have, and then when you go to an up-and-coming country that doesn't have as much as we do, like dryers, and you have to dry your clothes with air. You have to air dry your clothes. You learn to appreciate the things that we have here, you know? And I definitely appreciate my family more. I know that before this, me and my mom would kind of bump heads, and if she gets an attitude, I get an attitude. There'd just be attitudes all over the place. And now it's just like, shoot, I haven't talked to my mom today. Let me call her. I want to see my mom today, so let me talk to her. So I feel like we are very, very, very close now. And you just learn to appreciate the things that you have in life. Uncle Jarger is always looking out for his honor students. During the study abroad process, we ran into many obstacles. From finding classes in China to housing and financial aid back at Prairie View, Dr. Wilson resolved any and every issue that we had. There was also a point in time where Kimani almost didn't get to go to China, but because of the hard work of Dr. Wilson and his lovely assistant, Miss Kim Ingram, he got to enjoy the Chinese experience. Dr. Wilson also made a point to Skype us once a week and made sure that there was somebody in Beijing airport to meet us when we first arrived. All in all, we can always depend on the honors program when it comes to our education and our educational experiences.
So when I first came into the honors program, Dr. Wilson was constantly urging us to pay attention to international politics and policies, as well as learning Chinese. But I'll admit I wasn't really feeling that idea at first because I couldn't see the relevance of it as pertaining to my career goals and also my personal goals as well. So it wasn't until I went to Korea that I noticed that, you know, maybe there is something to this international settings and politics and international events as well as learning Chinese. So when I came back, you know, I was fired up. I'm making A's in Chinese class right now, and I will also have the privilege of studying at Middlebury in the summer in an intensive Chinese language course. And
whenever I hear anything about China, whether it's on the news, NPR, or even passers-by, it's become personal. After being fully immersed in different languages, cultures, and backgrounds, my eyes have been opened to a global world. The communications and language theories that I learned in class, I can now apply them. They now have meaning. The honors program opens the doors to broader outlooks and even greater opportunities.
因为梦见你离开，我从哭泣中醒来，看夜风吹过窗台，你能否感受我的爱？等到老去那一天，你是否还在我身边？看那些誓言谎言，随往事慢慢飘散。多少人曾爱慕你年轻时的容颜，可是谁愿承受岁月无情的变迁？多少人曾在你生命中来了又还，可知一生有你，我都陪在你